Before they get into this, I want my opinion very well understood. Taxing unrealized gains is one of the dumbest things any politician has ever suggested.
After income taxes and making sure that people are paying appropriate income taxes is one thing, but this tax that was proposed on billionaires, and by the way, it's for anybody who has 100 million or more. Nobody wants to look like they're defending the very wealthiest of the wealthy, but what you're talking about is a very different tax, going after gains or unrealized gains on investments, on stocks and other things. I mean, that is a horse of a whole different color, and it would make a difference to people who are just average people who have money like that if eventually it's changed. It's just a different taxation. This is not an income tax.
Let me respond to that.
That's not 1%. You know that, and that's sophistry. You know it is, because you know that the top 1%.
It's the top 1/100th of the top 1%.
Well, that's not what you said. That's not what you said. The top 1%.
Let me respond.
You guys are talking two different things. The wealth tax is after 100 million.
You're talking about the billionaire tax.
Doesn't pay less than what you said. It's not true. The top 1%.
Sorry, wait a second. I think you're conflating a number of issues. So the billionaires tax only affects people above 100 million of AGI.
You said 1%. And that's just made that statement. That
and
the
that's
top
the
1%.
That's the top 1/100th of the top 1%. But look, I want to start, Becky. I want to start where you started.
Yeah.
The idea of funding the IRS so they can go after the wealthiest tax evaders just makes tremendous sense to us. Yeah, so you have no problem with that.
I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with raising taxes.
Hold on, Becky. Hold on. Let me make this point.
I have a problem with unrealized gains.
We'll get into that. We'll definitely get into that. You think that you have no problem with that. One of the first bills the House Republicans passed when they got into office was repealing precisely that funding for the IRS. Now, that adds $114 billion to the deficit, according to the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office. Why? To allow wealthy tax evaders to cheat on their taxes. That's not okay with this president. I'm glad that's not okay with you. Now, let's talk about the billionaires tax. This is a tax. You called it a wealth tax on unrealized gains. In fact, what it really is, or at least the way we see it, is a prepayment or a withholding tax on future capital gains.
That's the dumbest thing.
In that sense, you might make down the road if the stock market doesn't turn around, if you don't see a bubble burst, if you don't see anything that happens. That's my problem with it. It's not an income tax. It's a tax on gains that you may have at some point or you may not. That's a whole different issue.
If you achieve those gains, then you make good on that prepayment. If you don't have to. So the rules of the tax actually protect people with capital losses. But what they finally do is they get us to. And by the way, it is a minimum tax. If you earn over $100 million and you're not paying 20% on your taxes, this minimum tax catches up with you. But it's not 20% on your taxes.
It's 20% on your wealth, on your supposed wealth. It's not on money that you've actually turned around. If you don't sell your stock or your investment because this is just something that's gone up and down with the markets and you've rolled it out the whole time.
I think we probably have to agree to disagree that anyone who's making $100 million or more and isn't paying 20% of their taxes ought to do so. Now let's go to
No, he tried to spin it there. That's not what she's saying. That's so stupid.
So let's not pretend that we are.
Let's go to the buyback.
Top 1%. You didn't say.
You see how he spun that there? That's not what they're saying at all. That is so stupid. This guy's such a piece. That's not what she's saying. Could we all logically sit here and say, hey, we should, fix some of these loopholes that the world's wealthy and elite find because they have the legal teams to find them? Yeah, we should probably fix that. Obviously, that's not what anyone's arguing. We're saying you should not tax unrealized gains. Why? Because they're unrealized. If anyone is watching this, if you guys are watching this and you think, yeah, no, we should be taxing unrealized gains, you need to get your head examined. No legitimate economist in the entire world would ever support such a moronic, stupid idea. Taxing unrealized gains. And I like how this dip loves to spin it. He loves to spin it. He's like, well, hang on. If you're making over 100 million, I think you should pay at least 20%. No one's arguing that point. She's trying to keep the discussion centered around taxing unrealized gains, as in not income. This is so stupid. This guy's a dip.
Look, I think we probably have to agree to disagree that anyone who's making $100 million or more and isn't paying 20% of their taxes ought to do so. Now,
she's saying pay taxes. She's just saying don't tax unrealized gains. You spin it and you just sound like a dip.
I think you should pay 20% of your income tax. Yes, I
let's go to the
right there.
Talking about
Let's
the same thing,
disagree
so
with
let's
that.
not pretend that
Jared,
we are.
Let's go to the
said
buyback.
Top 1%. You didn't say top zero. So the top 1% pay 40% of all taxes. Top 5%, 60%. Top 10% pay 71% of all federal tax. This is a progressive system, Jared. You shouldn't try to
just a progressive system, but it needs
people that they pay less than teachers. It's not true. People in the that are in the 1% pay a lot of taxes, a lot.
So look, I mean,
at a
you
very
guys,
high rate.
There's two of you there. There's one of me here.
Yeah.
Let me at least have equal time. Okay. Look. Yes, this is the federal tax system is progressive, and that's a good thing. But
Agreed.
There are way too many people of high incomes, starting at 400K and going all the way up, who pay, as you heard the president say last night, as little as zero on their taxes. Now, those who are paying 30, 40%, we have no problem with them. We don't go after them at all. But if you're a wealthy individual or a corporation, and you're paying a tax rate less than 15% on your corporate income or less than 20% on your income, including, as I talked to, as Becky and I were just discussing, capital gains, well, then we're going to change that, and that's injecting fairness into the tax code. It's disallowing wealthy tax cheats to evade the code, and it helps to achieve the kind of fiscal responsibility that this president wants to build on in his his first term. Now, look,
this is insane. I truly feel like this guy's trying to gaslight everyone. They've even said it. They're like, fine, tax them. If you have income, fairly tax the income. Let's clean up the loopholes. Both of them even said that they're supportive of a progressive tax system. For those of you who don't know what that means, it means the more money you make, you actually pay a higher percentage. They were supportive of that. Their simple point, Becky and Joe's simple point is you cannot tax unrealized gains. That's so dumb. This guy is a dipshit. Who is he? Jared Bernstein.